Welcome to the Confidently Balance Your Hormones podcast. My name is Dee Davidson, and I'm a hormone health expert, master mindset coach, and multiple wellness business entrepreneur. I'm obsessed with helping you experience hormone balance, confidence, self-love, and live a life full of joy. I know we're about to have so much fun together, so thank you so much for pushing play today. And now let's begin. Welcome to another episode of Confidently Balance Your Hormones. I'm your guide, Dee Davidson, board certified functional health practitioner, mama, root cause rebel. And today, it's my birthday week. Yesterday was my birthday, and I thought it would be appropriate to record a birthday reflection on health, God, living fully, to share with the world. So here we are. This episode's going to be a little different if you've been following for a while. And if you haven't been following, it's a reminder to go to the top of the podcast and hit follow. If you can rate it as well, it will help for others to find this podcast. But if you can definitely follow it, you'll get the updates. Typically every Monday, there's a new episode that drops. Instead of diving into labs like we usually do, or talking about root cause health or functional medicine, today I want to talk to you heart to heart. I want to talk to you about midlife, health, hormones, faith, and why I truly believe your second half can be your best half, truly. I think about my years in high school, then my 20s, then my 30s, my infertility journey, and I really believe that your second half can be your best half, because here's what I know. Midlife doesn't have to suck. You don't have to spend another year surviving, shrinking, settling. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're not too tired. You are definitely not broken. You are becoming, and God still has so much more for you. So let's get into it. Let's just say it. Midlife gets a bad rap. I constantly have conversations with women who are mid 40s and above, and it definitely gets a bad rap, and everything gets blamed on age and midlife. The hot flashes, the weight gain, the mood swings, the feeling like your body's betraying you after all these years. I see it in my clients, and I've personally experienced it too. I've had to make some shifts and come to acceptance, not settling, but acceptance of the fact that I'm in my 50s and going hard, and maybe doing those boot camp classes 5 days a week isn't serving my body the way that it once was. Whether that's even true, that's questionable. If that ever really served my body. But in any case, you might feel like you do all the right things. You're eating healthy, you move your body, maybe even take your supplements, and you still feel off. You might be unmotivated. I hear this a lot. I just don't have the motivation. I'm just so tired. I feel disconnected from myself. I don't even know who I am. My kids are getting older. A lot of my clients have empty nests now, or, just kind of transitioning from where they were to a new stage. And it's like your spark is dimming. But I want you to hear this loud and clear today. Ready? Turn up the volume. Loud and clear. You're not crazy. You're not lazy. And you're definitely, again, not broken. I'm going to keep telling you that. You're not a toy. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. Most women don't need another diet. They need clarity, connection, and permission to come back to themselves. When people hire me, they want to know what's coming back on the functional labs, where the vital voids are, where there are healing opportunities, which is great. Science is data, and it's personalized, and it does help us to have a physical health map for you. The thing is, though, when people leave me, they really tell me that they never thought they were going to gain the type of clarity that they did in the amount of time that they work with me. They really are called upon to reflect on their choices, to reflect on where they're not showing up for themselves, reflect on where habits came from, their beliefs, and all of that. I don't just hand someone a protocol and say, take these supplements and eat these foods. I really make people think and get back in their body, get back to who they were, to back to home, to where God created you to be. A lot of people have strayed far, far away from that, and they really don't know who they are. And it starts by listening, not to the noise, because it's really easy to keep busy, stay busy. I have so much to do. Well, that's one of the worst lines that I get all the times. I'm so busy. And here's a little activity. If you think you're so busy, I had my group clients do this last week, and when they came on the group call this week, they said to me, "We were hoping you forgot about that activity." I had them just for 24 hours, not even a week, just 24 hours. Take out your notes in your phone, start a notepad, and take account for what you're doing every minute of the day, literally, and see what's distracting you. A lot of the ladies said they were distracted by texts from their kids. They started to scroll and went down a rabbit hole. We can really get stuck in the noise, and that's a real issue for our health and our happiness because we're not focused on what we need. We're just so drowning in all of these distractions, but your body will tell you if you tune in and you listen and you choose your internal guidance. And even more importantly, God, universe, spirit, whatever you believe in, is always speaking to us. It's just that if we're always too busy and we don't slow down and we don't want to hear the messages, we miss them, sadly. Healing doesn't just happen in your labs or your protocols, it starts in your soul. That's why my approach is mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit. It's whole health. You have to address it all. You can't just do the physical, you can't just do the mindset. You have to be connected to something greater in order to be fully fulfilled. I do believe that. So, this birthday, I'm reflecting on the biggest things I've personally learned. I hope these help you. And these are truths I wish every woman knew. I work with women, I have some clients in their 80s and they're still learning, and they're like, Dee, that's so inspiring. It does not matter if you're 20 and listening to this. I have some teen girls that I work with on hormone health, or you're 80. All of these things can be helpful, I believe. And I hope that something resonates with you today. So, number one, I've said it twice already, the third time, you are not broken. Please, you're not broken. You don't need to be put back together. Your symptoms are not random. Your body is talking to you, whether it's fatigue, if you're having afternoon crashes, you can't sleep, you're gaining weight rapidly, you can't lose weight despite everything you're doing, you're having heavy periods, midlife, which I hear a lot, you're having anxiety, you're having panic, you feel depressed. It's all information. That's all it is. It's your body saying, we got to do something here. It's all information. And functional health gives us the tools to translate those messages. And I'm kind of the messenger. That's why I call myself the guide, the guide of this podcast, the guide of your coaching journey. I can help you translate those messages. I mean, you can't be expected to know what all those things mean. There's so much information, there's so many influencers out there that what I do with my clients is I have really deep conversations. We don't just stick to treating the paper. I look at you as a person. What's going on? I like to say that I'm very intuitive and I really connect with my clients and listen and respond in a way that helps you bring the balance back to your body. I can provide information and translate some of those messages, but you have to take responsibility and do that. But you do deserve answers and not gaslighting. So remember that. If you're feeling off, my number one thing I want you to know today is you probably are off and you need more information. That's all that is. And I can help you decipher that because it is your birthright to feel your best and not feel broken because you're not broken. Number two, okay, you ready for some permission? You're allowed to enjoy your life. Say it out loud. I am allowed to enjoy my life. For years, I wore the busy badge of honor. I was busy. I had multiple businesses. I was momming. I was running mom's groups. I was at every sport. I skipped meals, by the way, because I was so busy. I punished my body at the gym with these boot camp classes I was just talking about and no rest. Even on Sundays, I'd be running outside. It was like nonstop. And I drank a lot of coffee. That was another thing that I did. And now I've switched. I eat foods that nourish and delight. So I know it sounds so corny, but when you eat high vibrational foods, the foods that God gave you on earth that grow from the ground or have a mother, that's my rule of thumb, you are going to feel so much better. Food has energetic property. It has vibration, just like we do as beings. You're around someone that's low vibe, you definitely feel that. Same thing when you eat processed food. Even if it's a protein bar that has real ingredients, that still went through a machine. It got heated at high temperatures. The energetic value of that or the vibe of that's probably not as high as if you have a bowl of watermelon or some protein, like real protein, a piece of chicken, a piece of fish, a piece of meat. So I nourish with delight and I make sure that I don't skip meals. I shared in my group call because everyone tells me how busy they are that I have a buffer. So I no longer have calls every 30 minutes on the dot. I have a buffer for my lunch. I carve out at least 30 minutes for my lunch. I typically eat it outside this time of year. It's summer right now. And I get away from my phone. I'm in rest and digest. I take some deep breaths, but I nourish my body. I eat foods. I don't skip meals. And you need to do that too. That's bottom line. If you're not eating your meals present, infusing gratitude into that food, taking those deep breaths to get into rest and digest and out of fight and flight, you're not crafting a meal. And I don't want to hear that it's too hard, it's too difficult. Come on, you can grill some chicken, chop it up, and put it in the fridge for 3 or 4 days. You can bake a quiche and have that in the fridge and heat it up. That's just an excuse. So stop with the excuses. I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you permission to allow yourself to enjoy life. I'm also asking you for accountability to ditch those excuses because that's all really they are. We all have 24 hours in a day. You can meal prep. You can make something that lasts a few days. You can have leftovers from the night before. And food is energy. It is healing. It is everything. So, in the least, you need to do that. And also, on the other side, you need to enjoy. So I'm not an all or nothing girl. I barely drink alcohol anymore. But you know what? Michael and I, we were out by the beach and we said, let's have a coconut margarita. If I want a dessert when I'm out to eat and it's gluten free because I have gluten intolerance, I'm going to have it. So I don't believe in restriction. I don't think that's sustainable. I think there are certain frameworks of things that I know I can't have. Like gluten is one of those things that stays in your system for up to 180 days. So I know that one exposure is not worth it. And I know I've seen on the tests what it does for inflammation in my immune system and my gut health. So there's certain things that like are definitely off limits. But then again, having a drink, I don't really drink that much, but once in a while, or having that dessert that's gluten free or that ice cream in the summer. I want you to enjoy life. I'm giving you permission to do that. I move for joy. Before I used to move for what I would look like and having the flat abs and having the toned arms. Of course, I would love all of that stuff, but I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself. I'm not going to be so rigid. I am going to move with joy. I'm going to listen to my body. If I had 6 clients today and my kids had to be, brought to baseball and I'm all over the place, then my body doesn't want another tough thing to do. That might be a walk day. That might be a rest day. That might be a yoga day. That might be a stretching day. That might be an off day. And one day off or a couple of days off a week from exercise isn't going to set me back. So I move for joy. Sometimes it's dancing. I go out in my backyard and I dance around in my backyard. It is so fun. I know you might be like, oh my gosh, but try it. Bring some more love and light into your life. I rest without guilt, not just with exercise, but in general. There are days I used to feel lazy if I just sat on the couch. Now, I'm not a Netflix girl or, that type of person. There's nothing wrong with that if that's how you unwind and you like to watch TV. But sometimes I literally will just sit on the couch and listen to music and just pet my dog, right? Or go out in my backyard. Like almost daily now, I guilt-free sit out on my patio and enjoy the beautiful trees around, listen to the birds. I have this awesome bird app that my friend Stacy shared with me that it's called the Merlin app, I believe, and you can listen to and see what types of birds. I think it's so awesome. I can plug into what's around me, right? And be present. But I no longer feel guilty. I'll sleep in. The other day I didn't have my kids, they were with their dad, and I wasn't sleeping, but I stayed in bed until 8 o'clock. Do you know how big that is for me? I typically wake up between 5 and 6. And it's like, go, go, go. So I rest without guilt, and I'm giving you permission to. I chase sunsets. Oh my gosh, if you follow my page or my partner Michael's page, we take a picture of every sunset where, a lot of times by the beach, and it might be the same exact place, but a new sunset every day is a new sunset. And like I chase sunsets and smile at the squirrels and send love to the rabbits. But all of these things, they just make you feel happier and healthier. I promise you, if you're stuck in the house scrolling your phone, just going through the day to day, you need to look outside. You need to go outside. You don't need more checklists. You need more connection with what's going on in nature, more connection with the conversations that you're having with people, even the people at the grocery store and the post office. Are you just going through the motions, or are you adding value to someone else's day and allowing them to bring you some happiness? Because that really is enjoying your life. Because God didn't design us to hustle, by the way. Um, so many people are driving themselves into the ground. And as I'm getting older now, I'm seeing so many of my friends who haven't even made it to retirement, or having conversations about people's parents in my circle group who may have just retired within the last few years, who have lost their life. Don't let that be you. Make sure that you are designing your life every single day to live fully, to be present, to have gratitude for what we do have, because there are a lot of people that aren't afforded this very day that you're listening to this podcast. So you better get out and do something fun today. And fun can just be skipping down the street or watering your plants, whatever fun is for you. And send me a message. I love hearing that you were inspired by this podcast episode and that you went out and did something for yourself. So number 2 is you are allowed to enjoy your life. I need to add something in there. Those kids, they make us feel really guilty too at times, right? And that's something I've had to work on. I told one of my clients that she needed to tell her kids, set a boundary. I'm working, because she works from home and her kids are home for the summer. I'm working, and I will check my phone every hour, and put the phone on silent, and teach your kids boundaries, because you're teaching them something that's going to help them be healthy in the future. My kids will be blowing up my phone 5 times to make plans for 3 days from now, when I'm trying to get something done for my client or for myself. Maybe I'm just at the gym. It is okay. Again, I'm giving you permission to enjoy your life and to do things for yourself, to put your kids on silent. They will be okay. I promise you. They will be okay. My question always is, what would happen if you didn't get that call? Would somebody else get that call? Maybe their dad? Maybe they just give up. Maybe they know, okay, mom is doing her workout. She's not going to answer the phone for a half hour. She's not going to be my Uber. I did want to put that in there with enjoy your life. You're allowed to do that. Number 3, your faith is part of your healing. When I started asking, not just what do I need to fix or what do I need to eat, but what is God trying to reveal to me here? Everything changed. I really want to share a story with you, but I'm not ready to, so I'm not going to do it today. But many of you who follow and know me know that I'm a single mom of 2 teenage boys. They're 13 and 15. And I've been a single mom since they were 4 and 6. So it's been a little bit of time now. And we're going through some changes right now that are challenging for all 3 of us. And I sit there and I think about, like, what's God trying to do here? And I do believe that life is always happening for us, not to us. And even when we, just like my divorce, when we don't understand things, or we're like, "Oh, what the heck? This is like coming out of nowhere," that there is something greater that comes out of it. And for me, I'm just sharing that with my kids, I have endured a lot. It's not been easy. I was on a podcast, a single parenting podcast, and she had a lot of my story, and it felt really good to share it for other people that might be going through similar experiences. Divorce sucks. If you've divorced and you listen to this, I don't know anyone that benefits from divorce when it comes to their kids. Their kids really typically suffer, and we do the best that we can. And right now we're going through some changes, and I'm reflecting on it. It's like, okay, what's God showing me here? Maybe it's time for me to, guess what? Go back to number 2 and enjoy my life. Not that I don't enjoy it with my kids. I love my kids. Um, but they do have a dad, and some of that responsibility might be shared a little bit more there. And again, going back to what's God trying to reveal here for me? What's best for me? What's best for my kids? Sometimes it's not what we think is best, but having that faith is a part of your healing mind, body, and spirit. Healing is never just physical. It is emotional. We have stored emotions. I send people to get help with stored emotions, stored trauma, things they haven't processed. You might not even realize it. Spiritual, generational, things that you're carrying, that your grandparents carried, that people long before you, beliefs that were instilled in you. And so when we can partner with God, Spirit, the universe, whoever you connect with, for me, it's God, then miracles can happen. Not your plan, but the higher plan for the greatest and highest good. I always ask, for the greatest and highest plan because my plan might not be that. And I've made my plan be that in the past. It hasn't turned out so well. There's always lessons to be there, but I feel like when we try to control things, when we go against the tide, we can drown. We might not see it at the time, and we think this is what I want. Um, but the lessons can be hard. So you need to have a connection, some kind of faith. And if you're kind of lost in that, reach out. We can have a conversation. I know a lot of people have kind of gotten away from religion and maybe they've lost their connection to God, spirit, universe, anything greater. Let's have the conversation because that is part of your healing. I feel that people who don't have a connection to something greater than themselves, they tend to really suffer more. That's just my observation, but it is true. So number three is your faith's part of healing. So one, you're not broken. Two, you are allowed to enjoy your life. Three, you need some faith here. If you don't have a greater faith, it's really hard to find deeper healing. All right, let's go even deeper here. I have to check the time. All right, so we still got a little bit of time here because there's truth that I've seen over and over again in myself and in the women I support. Leaky boundaries equal leaky gut. If you have leaky gut, if you have gut issues, we can't just take collagen or bone broth and say, I'm going to heal my gut. I will tell you that's not the case. On a deeper level, when you say yes, when you mean no, when you carry everyone else's load, but never your own, your husband's, your kids, your bosses, when you betray yourself to avoid disappointing others, you're doing things that don't feel good for you, but you want to keep the peace. When your nervous system doesn't feel safe and you're on edge or you're feeling anxiety, you have that gut feeling that this isn't good for you. Your gut lining weaks. Literally, the gut feeling is a real thing. Your gut lining weakens, your body starts to show signs, you're tired, you're bloated, your motivation's down, you get brain fog, you get inflammation, you get autoimmune. I forget what the percentage. Dr. Gabor Mate, I love him. He talks a lot about autoimmune and stress. Women have the highest rate of autoimmune over men because we do these things. We do these things. We have leaky boundaries. We self-abandon. And it's not just about what you eat, it's about what you tolerate. So boundaries are not walls, they're protective love for your inner world. When you restore your boundaries, you begin to restore your body. Safety isn't just a feeling, it's a psychological need. You have to feel safe. Go back to psychology classes. You have to feel safe and you can't trick your body and you can't trick your nervous system. So if you're struggling with your gut, as I was, I want you to ask yourself, where am I leaking emotionally? Where am I giving away my power? Where am I giving away what I don't have to give? Those were all questions I had to ask myself, and I wanted to pass that along because I exercised. I've used non-toxic products for almost 2 decades. I eat organic food. I had the filtered water, and my gut health was not good. So I need to pass that on to you. And I've been really good about creating boundaries, choosing myself, and switching some of those things. In addition to that, my brand is Confidently Love Yourself because you have to love yourself enough to show up for yourself every day. Choosing yourself is not selfish, it is sacred, my friends. You were not placed on this earth to be a martyr to your schedule or your family or your business. You were placed here to steward the temple God gave you, the universe, spirit. I keep saying that because I refer to God because that's who I have a connection with. But whatever your higher being is, your mind, body, soul, self-love isn't bubble baths and spa days, although I'm all for them. It's a daily choice to eat foods that give you life, just like I talked about, high vibrational foods, grow from the ground, have a mother. Move because you love your body, not because you hate it, not because you want to change it, not because you want to see the scale move. Those are fine things, but you move your body because you love your body and you know that energy gets stagnant, our energy comes down, and we need to move that energy. Say no to what drains you. Say yes to what delights you. You want to go for that walk? Go. You want to take the nap? Take the nap. Rest without apology. Um, just leave the laundry. Who cares? Have your kids get the laundry out of the basket. Is it the end of the world? You really got to get over all of these small little things. Because every time you choose yourself, your hormones, by the way, are saying thank you. Your cortisol calms, your nervous system, your digestion improves, and that bloated belly you keep complaining about, you're in rest and digest when you eat. You feel better. Your sleep deepens because you're not going to bed with the weight of the world on your shoulders. Your soul begins to come home. God designed you to thrive, my friend, not in the absence of responsibility, but in the presence of alignment. Get aligned. I always point out to my clients, does that feel aligned? Does that feel aligned? And quickly, it might be difficult or not easy to make a more aligned choice for yourself, but it's what your body is asking for you to do. So, what does this look like practically? Well, you can go back to my episode on a day in a life with Dee Davidson. I think it's a couple episodes back, but I do go through my daily habits. I'm not going to go through that today for the sake of keeping this episode short and knowing that that's out there. But I do have certain things that I do, and they're non-negotiables every morning, during the day, and evening. This isn't about being, again, so rigid or not flexible, but there are certain things that I do stick with. And if you're still listening right now, I want to speak this directly to your heart. You don't need to become a new version of yourself, okay? You're just perfect just the way you are. You just need to come home to the woman that you were created to be. And you're powerful, you're radiant, you're wise. So if you're stuck in the cycle of burnout, trial and error, people pleasing, or hormone chaos, you're not broken. Yep, you heard it again. You're out of alignment. Look up that word alignment and sit with it. You don't have to sit in this crazy meditation, but just go sit outside and sit with the word alignment and think about what that means and ask yourself, be honest with yourself, be brutally honest. Am I in alignment, or what things are out of alignment? Healing is going to start with your truth. And truth is, you're not too far gone. You're not too late. You were never meant to just get through life. So stop having that attitude. Get out and enjoy life. It breaks my heart when people wake up every day and they just go through the motions. There's so much beauty to be, admired. There's so much to be enjoyed. And this is the year you can stop surviving. Get out of survival mode. Start receiving clarity, receiving rest, receiving joy, receiving healing. You deserve it all. It's your birthright. It's your birthright. So thank you for spending part of your day and part of my birthday month with me. If this message spoke to your soul, please, again, do me a favor and reach out. I love hearing from you. Here's to midlife. Here's to more joy, more rest, more truth, and more of what God has for you. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Confidently Balancing Your Hormones. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to share it with a friend and also hit follow at the top of this podcast. If you have a couple of minutes and you can leave a quick review, it will help other women in need find this podcast. You can find me on Instagram at confidently_love_yourself. I would love to stay connected and hear from you.